So you're a flight simmer just like myself and Captain Flako, and you've recently realized that you're tired of flying in 2D. You want to immerse yourself even further in DCS world, flying fighter jets of all kinds and helicopters, and maybe even doing some airline flights in Flight Simulator 2024. Well, do I have the solution for you guys? That is indeed the Pimax Crystal Super. This one being the 50 PPD model, that's pixels per degree. And we're talking ultra sharp 3840 by 3840 resolution per eye, glass aspheric lenses with a large sweet spot for consistent edge-to-edge clarity, variable refresh rates of 72 Hz and 90 Hz for that smooth gameplay, 127 degrees of field of view, auto IPD between 58 to 72 millimeters for personalized comfort, QLED plus mini LED backlighting, which delivers HDR level display performance, local dimming technology for vivid true-to-life color rendering, dynamic foveated rendering for optimized performance. So what do I think about the Crystal Super? Well, let's take a look in this video. Keep in mind that the Super is specifically designed and optimized for the ultra high-end GPUs. We're talking to those of you out there running the 4090 or 5090 class GPUs, myself included right now with a recently acquired 5090. But guys, we're talking again, look at that resolution, 3840 by 3840, which equates to about 29.5 million pixels. I mean, come on guys, this is insane. It surpasses professional grade headsets like the Varjo, Aero, and the Somnion VR1, making it the top choice for VR enthusiasts, developers, and professionals seeking unmatched visual immersion. Now let's jump into DCS world and see what kind of visuals we're getting. All right, let's go ahead and get this party started with the Pimax Super. Here we go. All right, so hopefully you guys can hear me over there. Well, been trying out this DJI Mic 3. Let me bring back DCS into focus. Let me recenter the view. It still feels a little off. Let me see. Okay. I think we're A-okay now. Let me just verify that I am recording. Move this stuff out of the way. Very, very informal. All right, so we are here in the Persian Gulf. We're in the Viper, as you can see. Everything looks crisp. Now, just to give some further details, as we keep holding traffic back up there, we're running the Pimax Super right now at its native resolution of 1x right on the Pimax Play software. I'll be listing that in the remainder of this video to show you and remind you guys what that resolution is. I've got quad views is not enabled right now. I'm finding a little bit better performance on my end somehow without quad views. But anyways, let's go ahead and get airborne and see what this Pimax Super can do while we're throwing some stuff at it. So let's get nose wheel steering on. Make sure gear down is down. Here we go. Start introducing power. Here we go, full afterburner. And we're rolling. Airspeed's alive, nose wheel steering can come off. And we're gonna try to stay center line here. There we go, 180, pitching up. We're airborne, gears coming up. We're gonna hug the deck here. Let's go ahead and bank left here over our friendlies on the ramp. Oh yeah. I'm going to circle back and see if we can catch those F-15s and this KC-135 that were lining up to take off. I must have been sitting there on the runway for like 15 minutes while I sat and configured the microphone. So they're probably not too happy. But check it out. We can see everything clearly. Brightness is a bit on the extra side. I mean, here they are. Here's our friendlies. Yep, looking nice. Like, look right now. Once I'm flying into the sun,
my heads-up display information completely washed out, which is a problem I never experienced with the Crystal Light. But again, something that we can tweak in the settings of the Pimax Play software. So it's not an absolute killer or immersion killer in my opinion. I think it's just something we have to go and tweak and alter a little bit. So let's see if we can find an eagle over here to join up on to really test the ability to close. There we go. I think I see one. All right, we're gonna go ahead and intercept him. Here we go. He's going past me. Now we do have the bags on, right? The drop tanks and some practice bombs. So we're a little bit heavy-ish. Not too bad though. Let's see if we can join up on this guy. All right. So here we go. Coming off the burner. Don't want to overshoot. Okay, we're definitely overshooting. Let's pull some G's, do like an S-turn here. But check it out. Look how easy it is to find a good friend. In this case, this F-15 Charlie from Lakenheath. And here we are joining up on him, even though we just flew right into his jet wash there. Oh, he's got 3 tanks. That's why he's heavy. Okay, that explains it. But check it out. We are just forming up here on this Eagle. I don't even know if he noticed the fact that I'm here. I'm sure he does. Look at that. I can read every number, every little detail there. Look at all the rivets, bolts. Everything is so legible. Let me make sure I don't crash into this bird. Here we go. Look at that. That is beautiful. So it goes without saying, the Pimax Super does not lack in clarity. I mean, if we already get this level of clarity from the Pimax Crystal Light, and remember, that is less actually. I think it's 2880 by 2880 on the Crystal Light versus this on the Super. So we're talking a significant game changer. And once again, this is at its native resolution of 1.0, right? We're not trying to super sample up to like 8K or 6K or nothing like that. We're just running it to where it came out of the box. And this has given us the best performance right now. Could you push it? Yeah, of course you can, but you're going to definitely have to sacrifice a little bit on the graphics quality, because otherwise you're trying to render all this inside this headset here upwards of 8K or somewhere in between. And guys, I think it's just absolutely unnecessary. If you are not satisfied with 4K clarity in general and you think 8K is a must, then I mean, good luck to you, I guess. I've got a 5090, 64 gigs of RAM, and a 7950 X3D right now. And if I wanted to go beyond this resolution, I'm gonna feel it. I can guarantee I'm gonna feel it, and you guys would notice it. But anyways, we're gonna pretty much pause here on DCS footage. By this point in the video, you guys already seen a few segments, maybe 3 or 4, who knows. So let's go into Flight Simulator 2024 here as this Eagle departs, and then we continue flying into the sun. So give us a few seconds, we'll jump right over into Flight Sim 2024.
Now, before we continue with the rest of the video, I got to give a shout out to the team at Pimax, giving them a big thanks for sending us this Pimax Super to review at zero cost to us. They did not pay us a single penny or a single cent. We are simply reviewing it for a period of 90 days. Now, let's look at something that they are offering. So if you're sick of blurry VR or squeezing glasses underneath your headset, don't worry, Pimax has got something set up for you guys out there wearing glasses under VR. For a limited time, when you grab a Pimax Super, using our link, you'll also get a free Hans VOR lens voucher, which is going to save you anywhere between $60 to $160 US. That's right, you get a free set of VR lenses with your Super if you follow our instructions. So how do you claim it? Well, go to the Crystal Super product page at the Hans VOR, that's HONS VR lens option at the checkout on the official site. Apply the discount code Hans VOR, exactly as it sounds. I'll type it right here in the video and complete your order. Now, this will be perfect for those of you guys, again, that need to have some type of prescription lenses with your headsets and you don't want to be using your glasses. Now, keep in mind that this offer cannot be combined with other discount codes. If you don't need prescription lenses, you can still use the code for a 3% discount on your order, and that's going to be That Flight Sim. Okay, that is our exclusive link with That Flight Sim channel, and it's going to save you guys 3% on your purchase of either a Pimax Crystal Light or a Pimax Crystal Super. Check out the links below in the description for more information. Once again, get a free Hans VR lens kit with your purchase, which is worth 60 to 160 US dollars, or save 3% on your overall purchase using our exclusive link. Now, let's get back to the video.
All right, folks, welcome to Teeterboro. We are here in the default title Cirrus SR22. This is the turbo model, of course. This is one of my favorite aircraft in the world. Hopefully I can own one day, so until then, I will resort to flying it here in Flight Sim. All right, well, pretty straightforward, right? We're gonna get rolling here. We're gonna take off and go over none other than New York City, right? Because how else can we push this 5090 and the Pimax Super if we're not flying it over one of the most dense and populated cities in the world? So here we go. We're rolling down runway 19er at Teeterboro here in New Jersey. And you guys can judge for yourself how the Pimax Super behaves and how it performs. Let's keep that right rudder in. Let's rotate. You can see the winds. We got a left to right crosswind there, quartering headwind at least. So got a good positive rate of climb. Let's go ahead and clean the flaps up. So I will say right now, not using quad views, because remember, on DCS World, I was not using quad views either. And so I want to keep it fair. I want to keep it the same across here for Flight Simulator 2024. Now, one thing I will owe you guys is further down the line, I want to give you guys a in-depth view at my settings, both for DCS World and Flight Simulator 2024. But right now, because the purpose of this video is just an initial impression, I don't want to spend too much time talking about that, but I know you guys will ask. So don't worry about it. I promise you that will come, as well as a comparison video versus the Pimax Crystal Light that you guys know I've owned now for over a year. And I think you guys are going to be shocked at my verdict at the end of that review when I compare the Super versus the Crystal Light. But more for that down the road. All right, let's take a look outside. Looking great. A little cloudy up here. But it's actually not too far off. I mean, I just flew in early this morning from Chicago. Obviously, we're on the northeast coast here, not Chicago. But there was some weather heading up there, and I can definitely see it. This is live weather. But it looks great. It's running very smooth. There's the Empire State Building right at dead ahead. So I don't know. We're going to level off here, 1,300 feet or so. Reduce power just a tad. There we go, 73%. We're going to trim the aircraft out. This thing wants to climb. And this is uncanny for me because typically I'm flying in Flight Simulator with the honeycomb, but I was lazy. I just didn't want to swap the HOTAS out, my wing's HOTAS. But guys, check it out. We are flying over New York City. In terms of graphic quality, I have everything pretty much set to high right now. Not ultra, just high, with a terrain LOD to 255, I believe. And I just want to see how it behaves and how it performs. Now, the water does look a little bit, a little glassy. There's no winds currently, so it does look, it leaves a little bit to be desired, but I think that's just because of the weather. Now, obviously, looking out into the cityscape here, you can see everything is still rendering, everything is loading, so it's gonna look a lot better once we fly directly overhead. Now, look at that, we're doing 162 knots, if I'm reading that correctly. We're gonna pitch down slightly. We're gonna come up here on the Hudson side, where Captain Sully landed that US Airways A320. And we're gonna hug over the city here. Now check it out. Now I gotta tell you, one of my inspirations for this video, of course, is the VR Flight Sim guy. You guys know that he constantly flies over New York City to test his various, well, he's got all of them. The VR Flight Sim guy, he has literally every headset known to man. And so shout out to you, bud. I forget his real name. I don't wanna just throw out a name there. Either way, look him up, guys. The VR Flight Sim guy. He definitely inspires a lot of VR content, and of course, the VR pilot, Jose, good friend of the channel here. We've actually met in real life, and just a lovely individual. So, believe it or not, we look at a lot of those channels for inspiration, and we figured, why not? Let's go fly around New York City and see how it behaves. And look at this. I'm probably cruising right now, enjoying, I think I've got it capped out at 60 frames a second. And this is phenomenal. I mean, if I wanted to train and I wanted to practice real world procedures on the Cirrus or the Cessna that I typically fly, this would be phenomenal because the scale that I'm getting on the Super is phenomenal. Check that out. Look at the One World Trade Center there. Oh, a little lag. Okay, we can live with that. That's fine. We've got the Statue of Liberty dead ahead there, guys. Look at this. This is phenomenal. I'm still a little, I want to push the settings a little bit higher. I'm not 100% happy. Look at the buildings. I don't know if you guys can see it on the video. It looks like there's algae growing on all these skyscrapers, but I think it's just the lighting. It's also just the settings that I've got right now for VR mode specifically. But look at how smooth this is running, okay? I can't complain. Again, one of the big things that the Pimax Super offers is that field of view. You know, we're talking, what, 120 degrees field of view, maybe 127 if I'm not mistaken. Nah, I think it's 120. I got to go and read the book, and if I'm saying this incorrectly, I promise you I will correct myself on the video, and you will see the caption with the correct resolution and the field of view. But guys, coming from the Pimax Crystal Light over to the Super, that is the first thing that I've always noticed is how much wider that field of view is, and it is phenomenal. I can see everything here on my Garmin perspective here, the G1000 suite, of course. I can read every single button clearly. I can even read the circuit breakers down there if I wanted to, but my PFD and my MFD are legible. Not as sharp as I really want it to be, honestly. I'll have to probably up the antes a little bit here with the settings on the Pimax Play software. Maybe enable quad views and see if that allows me to gain a little bit better performance. But again, in my current testing for the past month and change, I've noticed that quad views is a hit or miss. And for the purpose of recording, which by the way, has been kind of a pain, but thankfully the team at Pimax sent us a video to help us set everything up. I noticed that in quad views, it's a bit tricky to get a good recording. So that's why I am not using quad views. But guys, I think I am more than happy right now. And again, this is an initial impression of the Super. Testing it in DCS World and now Flight Sim 2024, but I can't complain. And let me climb because this thing is the TAWS, you know, terrain awareness and warning system is letting me know that we're at 500 feet. There we go. We're just buzzing skyscrapers here. But this is phenomenal, guys. So not much to say or do here, guys. I want you to come up with your own conclusions. Watch these videos, not just our video here of our initial impression. Watch those videos from these major channels like the VR Flight Sim guy and the VR Pilot. Again, those are two of our biggest inspirations for videos in VR. We try to follow what they do because they seem to have it down packed. And guys, I can tell you, they know a lot more about virtual reality than we do here at that Flight Sim channel, but we're just humble and we want to give you guys an honest impression. So with that being said, let's put a ribbon on this video, shall we? What do I think about the Super? Is it a phenomenal and clear image? Absolutely. I mean, come on. We're talking the Super here. You know, coming from the Crystal Light, we wouldn't expect anything less. Performance-wise, yes, I am running a 5090, 64 gigabytes of RAM, so I know that not everybody out there has the same system setup. So that is why I said that I think my comparison video to the Crystal Light, you guys will be very, very surprised at what my recommendation will be. But if you're like me, you hate money and you constantly have to tell the wife or your husband or your partner, like, hey, this is for the purpose of content creation, and you somehow get the approval, then go for it, guys. Get that 5090, grab a Pimax Super, and actually, I will be making a mention here before we close this video on what Pimax is offering nowadays with several campaigns, okay? So, with that being said, is this headset worth it? Yeah, absolutely. I know the price tag is a bit steep, but remember, guys, Pimax does have that Prime option now where you do a payment up front and then you can just pay off the headset over a fixed term for X amount of months. I have not done that. Again, in full disclosure, Pimax sent us this Super to review ourselves for a period of 3 months. Not one penny given to us. We did not pay 1 penny either. So this is just our raw impression, our very own opinions with some influence from these guys that we've just mentioned. But guys, I am more than happy. Again, here in Flight Sim 2024, I do see the brightness is a little bit too bright, So I'm gonna have to go into the Pimax Play software and edit that myself to lower the brightness just a tad bit. But check it out. We're just scanning the instrument panel here, looking at the glare shield, and everything looks a-okay.
All right, so now that we've covered a little bit of our first impressions and DCS World in Flight Simulator 2024, what do we think? Well, let's recap, right? The Crystal Super, 50 pixels per degree version here with 127 degrees of field of view. We're talking 3840 by 3840 resolution per eye. Glass spheric lenses. We've got the variable refresh rates, QLED plus mini LED backlight, which delivers us that HDR level display performance. So what do we think overall? Is it a good overall product? Absolutely. There's no question about it. There is nothing about this headset that I completely hate. Furthermore, the weight and the feel, it's actually a little bit lighter than the Crystal Light. I know some of you are going to be like, no way, that's not possible. But if you pay attention earlier on in the video, and I'll probably include it here in this section, there is a smaller footprint on the Super compared to the Crystal Light. Again, I've been using the Crystal Light for over a year now, and I'm surprised that using the Super, I actually feel equally, if not more comfortable than when I did with the Light. So overall, I think it is a phenomenal product. The only gripe that I have with it right now is just the brightness. It is definitely overblown or exposed, so I have to go into the Pimax Play software and adjust the brightness levels, but that's just for my personal like and for my own personal taste. Just to compare it, when I had the Crystal Light and when I would use it, I never touched the brightness settings or the colors. I just kept them as is. So guys, overall, what are we talking about here? Once again, 50 PPD display, 3840 by 3840. We're talking 29.5 million pixels. It's going to look sharp, okay, guys? But remember, this headset is specifically optimized for the higher end GPUs. So we're talking 4090s, 5090s, and whatever AMD Radeon equivalents those are, because I am unfamiliar and I fail to keep up with the naming conventions. So guys, thanks for watching the video. I hope that you can gather some intel on this video and see what our honest impressions are and give you a better perspective on what the Crystal Super has to offer. Once again, don't forget to check out those links below in the description with our 3% discount code, which is that Flight Sim at the checkout. Otherwise, you can take advantage of that discount right now, where you can get the Hans VOR lenses included for free as you check out. But keep in mind that this one is only valid till September 20th. Anyways, guys, thanks for checking us out. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, comment, let us know what you think, and we'll be seeing you very soon on our head-to-head comparison of the Crystal Super with the Crystal Light. Smooth landing, guys. Happy flying, and we'll see you on the next one.